Okay, another discussion here. So why is the West falling apart? Why is everything falling to pieces? Why are people barely affording to live in this day and age when we have so much technology, so much um, every worker in this day and age have tremendous productivity, but still it seems like many people struggle to just have the bare necessities of life, and it's really crazy actually if you think of it. So why has it come to this? I have identified what I call the four horsemen of the apocalypse that is destroying the West. It's four things that all these together are working in conjunction to destroy us. So if we are to save the West, we need to and create a Western Renaissance. We need to fix all these problems essentially, I think, at the same time, because they are kind of interlocked. It's like a knot of it's a perfect storm of problems that all work together. So what are they? And you're gonna be surprised about what I say here, because maybe you're not gonna expect this. The first is extreme belief in democracy. The Western world, we started democracy around roughly about 100 years ago, a little bit more than 100 years ago, and it started out pretty good. We had a good ride with democracy, but the problems we have today, if we're honest, we have to admit that they are a result of our way of governance. The way we had democracy where everybody could vote, and we had, which has many good things. I like democracy, but we have to be honest about this. It's democracy that has gradually led us to the situation where we are today. So any criticism any serious criticism of the Western civilization right now has to look at democracy. And what's the problem with democracy? The problem with democracy is that you essentially says the majority rules, but that's kind of tough luck for anyone that don't agree with the majority. It's like there's like like if two wolves and one sheep vote on who to eat for dinner, the wolves just vote to eat the sheep. So that then is fair, they can eat the sheep. So that kind of describes the fundamental problem with democracy. And I like to mention sometimes Carl Schmitt, the Nazi philosopher, infamous. He actually, I mean, there are many people in history that has the right problem description but the wrong solution. Maybe the right solution to solving the problem with democracy is not dictatorship. There are other ways like freedom and republic, building a strong republic, etc. But Carl Schmitt, he noticed that if you have people who are enemies to each other, they're groups of enemies in a democracy, then democracy doesn't work, because it can't solve that problem, because it means that just the group that has the most people win. So tough luck for all the others. You get the situation that you had in Lebanon, for example. So that's it. So the first one, democracy. That's the first horseman of the apocalypse. The second one, you might have heard, is feminization and feminism, basically. Also around almost 100 years ago, or a little bit less, we gave women the right to vote, and gradually the political landscape have shifted more and more to become gynocentric, as you could say. It reflects how women think and act and such like that. And while women are very, very good at many things, I'm not so sure about that they are really, really good at building a civilization. Because to build a civilization, you need principles, you need justice, you need and actually you need to defend your territory. You need to look at who can be our enemy and prevent them from taking over. So, and I'm not really sure that women have the right on average, women have been shown to be equally intelligent to men, so it's not that. But maybe women have instincts that doesn't work when you try to build a civilization. And that's kind of conjoined with the problem with democracy, right? We gave women the right to vote, so a lot of women vote, and they vote for open borders and refugees welcome and such and such. So those are the two first horsemen of the apocalypse. Then the third one that I think is really, really important. I think especially people on the right side of the political spectrum don't really realize how bad this is, and that is what I call feudal capitalism. We have entered a state, like if you see since the 70s, the wages have been stagnant while the dividends and the capital gains have gone all like the money that the investors get from a company has gone way up. So we're entering a situation where essentially people can't afford to live, and there are some really good. There's Gary Stevenson is another YouTuber. He was a trader at a famous bank, and he was very successful. And he started to see this, that we live in a society that is going off the rails because the rich 1%, or not even the 1%, like the 1/10%, or even the richest small clique of people are getting insanely rich. They just vacuum all the wealth to themselves, and there's no trickle down. We're just going into a feudal society where everyone is just poor peons, and they are like lords. We have like King Bill Gates, King Elon Musk, King Jeff Bezos. They are mightier than countries, but they don't have. And you know what I think? I think even like before, when we had real kings, real feudalism, that was better, because a real king, he would swear an oath, and under God he was responsible for his subjects. But Bill Gates and Elon Musk, they just take all their money to a tax haven, and then they offshore all the jobs, and they just watch this country burn, and they couldn't care less. They don't even have to pretend to care. So I think this era of feudal capitalism is really, really important. And I think for people on the right like me, who are nationalists and such, I think it's really, really important. We need to get on this train and start to collaborate with people like Gary Stevenson, and because this is not just a right-left issue. This is like survival for the Western civilization. It's essentially genocide. If the rich people in the world, they offshore all the jobs, they pay wages that people cannot live on, or at least they cannot build a family, have children. That is essentially genocide. The rich people are destroying us. They are betraying us, and we do nothing about it. In the past, we kings to be free. In France, they because they had finally reached a point where they had to do something to loosen the grip of the wealthy and the elite. So that's. So we need to start talk about this. We need to seriously talk about wealth inequality, even on the right. And then I come to the fourth horseman of the apocalypse, which I think is, of course, mass migration and Islamization. As a Christian, as a Christian atheist, I would say, that my values of morality is in many ways totally opposed to the morality of Islam. So to mix us into the same society becomes very problematic and very, and also all this mass migration has caused a lot of rifts in society. We have become like Lebanon with a lot of different groups that have. So we're destroying democracy essentially with this mass migration. Democracy will not survive if we become too disloyal to each other. So that's the kind of, that's the battlefield. That's the what we're up against. These four horsemen, and I think we need to tackle them all. We're surrounded by enemies, so to say, and we need to take all of these issues seriously and do something about it to survive, for this civilization to survive, basically. So yeah, that's a kind of a rough overview. In this channel, I will come back to these things, of course, and talk about it endlessly, various things you can do about it. And like I said, I'm talking about solutions here. I will talk about different ways we can deal with all these problems. I will talk about alternatives to, like, how we can evolve democracy itself, for example, to become more aligned with freedom and reciprocity and such things. So yeah, so that was a kind of introduction. And if you have any questions, if you have any opinions, ideas, just leave a comment below, and I will have a look at it. I enjoy reading people's comments and having a discussion about these things, because I think it's important.